This is Colin O'Keefe here again for LXBN TV. Last week, FCC Commissioner Tom Wheeler announced proposed changes to how the Commission plans to regulate the Internet, with the move being supposedly a big win for net neutrality advocates. Joining LXBN TV to explain the proposed rules and what they really mean going forward, in addition to answering some key questions, is attorney Doug Jarrett. He's in Washington, D.C. with Keller and Heckman, and author on the firm's Beyond Telecom Law blog. Doug, first off, do you agree with the cable companies in Verizon and AT&T, and also some of the net neutrality advocates who are saying that this new Title II status for ISPs amounts to this utility-like regulation? Are they truly regulating the Internet like a utility?
No, I think that's an exaggeration. The Title II provisions, the core provisions that everyone is concerned about, really were adopted and have really not been changed since the 1930s in the original Communications Act. However, the Commission is going to forbear from any type of rate regulation. It's not going to dictate how the carriers must invest their money or where they must invest it. It will tell them, though, to the extent they are providing broadband service, there are going to be certain new rules of the road. No blocking, no paid prioritization, and transparent rules on network management practices. So it's different, but it's really not Title II regulate or utility type regulation to the same extent that local electric and gas utilities are regulated.
I see, and of course there have been many people, already who are against this designation, and AT&T has signaled that it's going to appeal the FCC's decision, as it's been outlined, of course, by Chairman Wheeler. What do you think AT&T's strongest argument is going to be when it comes to fighting this new designation?
Well, I think their best argument is that high-speed internet access, broadband, really squarely meets the definition of information services under the Communications Act. And an information service is not a telecom service. They're mutually exclusive. And therefore, based on a reasonable reading of that definition, high-speed internet access should not be regulated as a telecommunication service because it more closely fits the definition of an information service. And I think, too, the other part of the 2002 cable modem decision that led to the current classification of internet services as an information service is that consumers really see the internet as an information service, as the ability to access information as well as to transmit information. And that clearly meets the definition of an information service.
I see. And then, of course, there is a discussion draft out there in both the Senate and the House, from the Commerce Chairman that, aims to codify the core net neutrality rules. Do you think that, if Congress does enact that discussion draft, would the president end up vetoing that?
I think he would think twice before vetoing it. The reason is there are going to be appeals. It's going to go to the Supreme Court. In the Brand X decision, it was a 5-4 decision. There were multiple dissents. And people may view that, the court may say, we don't go along with you here, Commission. You told us it was an information service back then. We agreed, now you're flip-flopping on us. I think I would feel there's a level of risk that I might want to avoid. The downside of let's say, not vetoing the legislation is that the FCC's authority to expand or elaborate on the core net neutrality provisions, no paid prioritization, no blocking, would be very limited, if not precluded. And also Section 706 of the Act, which in Verizon v. FCC, the court said the Commission had authority to regulate the internet, if you would deprive the Commission of jurisdiction, of potential jurisdiction, to preempt municipal restrictions, state restrictions against municipal broadband build-outs. And this is something the Commission and the President value highly. So there's the tension there. If they go along with the bills in the House and the Senate, if they were enacted as is, they would essentially foreclose municipal broadband. And that might be difficult for the president to accept. So that is a very close call of whether he should or whether he would veto it.
I see. It's going to be interesting to watch. There are a lot of moving parts here, of course, with the president, with Congress, and then still with the FCC as well. So it's going to be interesting to watch and see how this plays out on really one of the country's most important issues right now. Once again, that was attorney Doug Jarrett of Keller and Heckman. To read more of his analysis of what is going on with net neutrality as things continue to progress, be sure to follow the Beyond Telecom Law blog. It is just at beyondtelecomlawblog.com. Thank you for joining me today, Doug.
Thanks a lot, Colin. Appreciate it.